Welcome to the channel. I'm Dr. Rezaian, a specialist in arthritis and autoimmune diseases. Today's presentation is a visual journey through some of the most striking diagnostic images in rheumatology. These are images where the visual alone can unlock the entire diagnosis. Whether you're a trainee or a lifelong learner, this session will help sharpen your diagnostic eye. Let's begin. This image shows the lateral aspect of a finger stained with a bluish-black hue, classic Ochronosis. This pigment deposition is caused by alkaptonuria, a rare autosomal recessive metabolic disorder due to a deficiency of homogentizate 1,2-dioxygenase. Homogentisic acid accumulates and binds to collagen, particularly in cartilaginous tissues. Over time, this results in pigmentation in the skin, sclerae, and cartilage, and eventually degenerative arthritis. The hands often show early signs due to frequent use and pressure. The ear is another signature site for ochronotic pigment accumulation. In particular, the helix, the outer rim, develops a blue-black tint due to homogentisic acid. This pigmentation often goes unnoticed unless examined closely, but it's one of the earliest signs of systemic deposition. Importantly, the presence of this pigment should prompt further evaluation for spinal and large joint involvement. This slide displays both hands with darkened areas around the finger joints. Note the characteristic pigmentation that follows joint lines and pressure points. While the external changes are diagnostic clues, internal degeneration in weight-bearing joints like the spine and knees often necessitates imaging and lab confirmation of homogentisic aciduria. This image shows Dactylitis, also known as a sausage digit, due to uniform swelling of the entire toe. Unlike focal swelling in arthritis, dactylitis involves inflammation of the joint, tendon sheaths, and soft tissues all at once. It's most commonly seen in psoriatic arthritis and other spondyloarthropathies. It's considered a hallmark feature. Seeing this in clinic should immediately raise your suspicion for those diagnoses. This patient presents with prominent swelling of the sternoclavicular joint, particularly on the right. Inflammatory arthritis involving the SC joint is a known but under-recognized manifestation of psoriatic arthritis, SAPHO syndrome, and occasionally ankylosing spondylitis. SC joint swelling without trauma should not be dismissed. Here we see increased uptake at the SC joint on bone scintigraphy, indicating active inflammation. Bone scans help detect early inflammatory changes even before X-rays become abnormal. In patients with asymmetric joint pain or subtle findings, bone scans can help confirm enthesitis or active arthritis. This finger is diffusely swollen and tender, another example of dactylitis. Here, the swelling is circumferential, involving flexor tendons, extensor compartments, and synovial joints. MRI studies confirm that tenosynovitis and soft tissue edema drive this characteristic swelling. Dactylitis often correlates with disease activity in psoriatic arthritis. Compare the affected digit with a normal one. Dactylitis is not subtle when viewed side by side. This visual comparison is clinically powerful. It's a pattern of inflammation seen more in psoriatic arthritis than in rheumatoid arthritis. If nail pitting or scalp psoriasis is present, the diagnosis is nearly clinched. This lace-like purple skin pattern is known as Livedo reticularis. It's caused by slowed blood flow through small cutaneous vessels. While it can be physiological, induced by cold exposure, persistent Livedo suggests pathology. Differential diagnosis includes lupus, antiphospholipid syndrome, Sneddon syndrome, and cryoglobulinemia. This more irregular form of Livedo raises concern for true vascular compromise. It's not just cosmetic, it may indicate deeper vessel involvement, including vasculitis or thrombosis. Persistent Livedo should prompt evaluation for antiphospholipid antibodies, complement levels, and systemic signs of vasculitis. The ear is an unusual site where tophi form, often before clinical gout flares begin. This is a critical clue. It means the body has been saturated with urate long enough to allow crystal deposition in cooler peripheral tissues. If left untreated, gout often progresses to joint destruction and chronic arthropathy. Tophi like this develop after years of uncontrolled hyperuricemia. These are deposits of monosodium urate crystals in soft tissue. While initially painless, they can ulcerate or become infected. In joints, they cause chronic inflammation and erosive damage. This patient needs urgent evaluation of uric acid levels and escalation of urate-lowering therapy. Here's another perspective on finger tophi. Note the nodular appearance and overlying skin thinning. This level of urate burden often means the kidneys are struggling to clear uric acid. Management involves both lifestyle changes and pharmacologic intervention, such as allopurinol or febuxostat, and sometimes surgery. The thumb-wrist sign is part of the physical screening for Marfan syndrome. It's based on long extremities and joint hypermobility. If a patient can overlap their thumb and pinky around their opposite wrist, they may have increased arm span to height ratio, along with other features like pectus deformity or aortic dilation. This raises suspicion for Marfan's. Early referral to cardiology is key. These forearm lesions are palpable purpura, an indication of small vessel vasculitis, seen in lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, ANCA-associated vasculitis, or cryoglobulinemia. These lesions result from immune complex deposition in postcapillary venules. They may begin as red macules and evolve into purpura, ulcers, or necrosis if untreated. This shows vasculitic changes in the hands of a lupus and RA overlap patient. Skin findings are often the first and sometimes the only external sign of systemic inflammation. Prompt treatment with corticosteroids or immunosuppressants is often required. This traumatic image shows necrotic lesions of the lower limb due to untreated vasculitis. These ulcers are painful, risk superinfection, and may require debridement or grafting. It highlights the destructive power of unchecked inflammation. Early recognition and aggressive immunosuppression can prevent such complication. Here we see multifocal skin necrosis. This patient with overlapping lupus and RA developed systemic vasculitis. The lesions are at various stages, evidence of ongoing vascular damage. This presentation requires urgent intervention with steroids, possibly cyclophosphamide or rituximab. As you've seen, certain images are diagnostic anchors. A picture can truly make the diagnosis when it's linked with clinical acumen. If this video enhanced your understanding, please like, subscribe, and share it. And remember, your clinical eye is your most powerful diagnostic tool. Until next time, keep learning and stay sharp.